On July 4th, Central Texas experienced one of the deadliest flash floods in recent memory. In a matter of few hours, 130 people lost their lives, and many still remain missing. Roads, homes, and entire communities were swept away, many with little to no warning. This was no ordinary storm. More than 20 inches of rain fell in some areas over that weekend. Rivers rose dozens of feet in less than an hour, turning a typical summer night into a deadly disaster.
The storm that caused this damage was part of a system that had been pushed northward out of Mexico by the remnants of Tropical Storm Barry. It was laden with moisture off of the Gulf of Mexico, and it stalled over the Texas Hill Country, which, broadly speaking, is the area between San Antonio and Austin, Texas. It is underlain with limestone, which takes a while to dissolve. So the upshot of that is that any rain that tends to fall there, particularly large amounts of rain, translate instantly into runoff.
What made this storm so lethal was the timing. It developed and intensified overnight while most residents were asleep. And although warnings were issued, many never heard them. In the aftermath, misinformation flooded social media. Some blamed the disaster on cloud seeding or weather manipulation, claims that are completely false. Meteorologists and scientists across the board agree. This was a naturally occurring, climate-fueled extreme weather event. Distracting from that reality only makes future tragedies more likely.
This part of the country is no stranger to catastrophic flooding. In 1987, this same river flooded and killed 10 people. In 2015, Blanco River, which is another hill country river, experienced flooding with a death toll of 13. Now, the county that was primarily affected is Kerr County, Texas. It's a hill country county. It makes use of three primary warning systems. One is the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System. That is a cell phone based warning system. That's an alert you get on your cell phone. The other is the Emergency Alert System, which is another cell phone based warning. There is also available in this area the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Weather Radio, which issues warnings over the radio. However, Kerr County apparently has no siren warning system physically in place on the ground. So there appear to have been a couple of disconnects in the warning protocol for this area. First of all, forecasters, and these are often federal bodies, are the official issuers of flood warnings, since they have access to the satellite data and process the satellite data and issue it and comb through it. But it's actually incumbent upon county officials to issue official evacuation or shelter in place recommendations. And during the recent floods, confusion over institutional roles and responsibilities appear to have resulted in some finger pointing between the federal and local officials. So a strong connection needs to be made between responsible agencies at both levels, and responsibilities in times of crisis such as these need to be made absolutely clear. The second disconnect appears to be related to disaster relief funding, which for Kerr County has either been denied or impeded by the state of Texas over the years, or, as was the case in 2021 when it received $10.2 million in American Rescue Plan Act or ARPA funds, simply misappropriated. Interestingly, as of July 31st of this year, 2025, the United States Department of Defense will discontinue sharing data from its Defense Meteorological Satellite Program, or DMSP, with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. This is an administration which has depended on that data for in excess of 50 years. The U.S. military has been launching these DMSP satellites since 1962, and it launched its last one in 2014. So it's a fairly extensive, time-tested, and reliable network. The official reason given for this action, at least initially, was that the data generated by this network now supposedly constituted a potential cybersecurity risk to United States government high-performance computing environments. This explanation has evolved, however, into one of a transition to a more modern, more updated satellite system. While it is true that many of the satellites in this program are indeed old, and that many of them have well outlasted their expected lifespan, as long as they continue to provide quality, essential data, what is the rush to restrict access to the data now? Why not continue to make the data available during the transition period? Capabilities most impacted by this action are hurricane intensification and storm intensification predictions, hurricane forecasting, as well as sea ice monitoring. As the recent loss of life in Texas should indicate, climate change is an increasing threat to human health and safety. And the job of any military, arguably, is to protect its citizens. So why not keep the DMSP data available during this transition time?
This flash flood was driven by a dangerous mix. Warm Gulf air, remnants of a tropical system, and Texas's unique terrain. But it is part of a broader pattern. Climate change is making storms more intense, less predictable, and deadlier. Ignoring the science, slashing weather forecasting budgets, and pushing conspiracies won't protect communities. Early warning systems, better infrastructure, and fact-based leadership will.